disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Then let me tell you why.
It's gonna be alright, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
Let's just kill those fucking men.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
All right. Yo, welcome everybody to IBD Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North special call-in edition for everybody post-fight show, and awaiting your calls on this overnight show. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Before we get down to the fun, you guys know the drill. We are no longer monetized, so if you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so via the Buy Me a Coffee website, app, whatever you want to call it, link in the description. Same goes for the Patreon. Free content on Patreon, just sign up. Let us know that you're supporting us over there by populating the Patreon. And if you want to donate, you can donate whatever you want over there. You still get free content either way, but make sure to sign up. And don't forget, you can check this out on Spotify, iTunes at your leisure. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Really helps us out. All right. Enough prevarication. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty here. Phone lines are open, and they will be open for at least an hour. So make sure to call in, give us your thoughts on everything that just transpired between Benavides and Morell. Benavides, the winner. Spoilers, in case you've been living under a rock for the last couple of minutes. But Benavides walks away with a unanimous decision. From what I understand, wide scorecards. Let me look at the scorecards here. They haven't even posted them yet on Boxing Scene. What the heck? CompuBox stats. Yeah, they don't even tell you. Let me see if Ring Magazine is up to date. I think I heard one of them was 118, 110 or something. Wow, what type of scorecards are those? David Benavides shakes off knockdown, bangs away decision, says the headline. And it says that he won by scorecards of Team Cheatham. Remember that name, Cheat. Team Cheatham, 118, 108. And then two scorecards of 115, 111. I got to tell you, I don't understand what they're talking about with 118, 110. Team Cheatham, really. I know he's giving other bad scorecards before, but I got to dig him up. We're gonna dig him up tomorrow, because really we got to start calling out these horrible judges out. But right there's the phone number in the marquee position, and it's gonna be up on the left-hand bottom corner or middle corner of your screen for as long as we go. Let me read a couple of chat messages here, see what people are saying. PowerFox says Morell lost wide. Darth Vader says Benavides 8-4. Mark T says Benavides high guard is impossible to get through. It's the best defense in boxing. Straight right hand says Morell's counters weren't that good, and Benavides is very good, I think he says, at punching through the holes of a guard. Benavides had a good defense as well. Chad Collins says, I told y'all Benavides on point. Quick Slot says, hot take, but Canelo would have gotten Morell out of there, or at least dropped him, which Benavides didn't do. He was a punching bag. If you don't agree with that, another is Canelo wouldn't have been dropped. All right, shout out to Quickslot. Skull K25 says, Mars, Boxeo, Canelo gonna cherry pick a YouTuber and an old ass Crawford. Well, I mean, tell that to all the so-called experts who are picking Crawford to win. I mean, you would think that Crawford is the greatest fighter since Roy Jones, and that Canelo is just another John Ruiz. Handsome Mechanic says it wasn't a knockdown. He hit his arm and pushed him. Well, listen, if you hit a guy in the arm and he falls, that's a knockdown. You just gotta hit the target and drop the guy. Same thing when if a guy's off balance and you punch him and he falls, that's on the guy who's off balance, man. JJ says Canelo's one punch at a time wouldn't work on Benavides. I don't know. A lot of people bringing up Canelo, I got to tell you. Even though that fight, Benavides says he's done with that fight. I did stay in the post-fight. I was listening to the post-fight interview with Benavides, and I don't think he called out any of the top 175 pounders by name. I think he just said whoever's next or something like that. Why wouldn't he call out the winner of Bivol Beterbiev? That was weird. Don't tell me he's going to move up to cruiserweight and take on Zurdo Ramirez. More on that later on. Hold on a second. Shout out to Chris, says Benavides had bigger power shots. He definitely landed the cleaner shots, that's for sure. Hold on a second. We got a donation via Buy Me a Coffee. Got to look to that. Let's see. Hold on a second. We got Double L. Shout out to Double L. Well, actually, I don't even know which ones were from earlier today or from yesterday. Oh, no, okay. I think we got some from today. Virtuoso. Benavides is going to avoid the winner of Beterbiev versus Bivol by saying he can make it to that fight because of a broken booty hole. Ah, come on. Why does it have to be a broken booty hole, Virtuoso? I'm starting to get the same vibes, though. All kidding aside, I'm starting to get the same vibes that he won't be fighting the winner of Beterbiev Bivol. But it's just a feeling. I could be wrong. It's just my intuition. Double L, shout out to Double L for his contribution via the Buy Me a Coffee as well. Says, Prime Benavides went life and death with an inexperienced 11th fight Morell and got dropped. I get that Mirage gave Benavides his V card, but choosing to stay on a slowly sinking ship is still a sinking ship. I guess what they say about women falling in love with their first sexual partner is true. Oh my goodness gracious, Double L with a bunch of digs over there. At our most hated Australian. My goodness. Now, hate is a strong word, by the way. But shout out to Virtuoso and Double L for their contributions via the Buy Me a Coffee app. Like I said, link in the description. Let's go to a couple of phone calls here. I almost said like I was going to curse there. Bear in mind, I'm a little bit tired here at midnight, but I'm going to do my best to keep the energy up here. Let's go to a phone call. Let's go to 952. 952, you're on the air. 952, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, 952?
Yeah, what's going on with you? That was a great fight. Honestly, I might sound crazy, but I think that was a draw. I don't know if I would want to give that to Benavidez, even though Morell was getting hit too much. Mm-hmm. But I would have called that a draw. They got to run that back. That needs to be a rematch.
Could you break it down a little bit? What did you see that Morell was doing to warrant a draw?
See, Benavidez, based on his style and based on what he's done thus far in his career, he's expected to just walk through people because of what he did at 68. Now he's fighting guys the same size as him. He's not able to do that. So it's kind of like if he doesn't demolish you like he's known for, you can probably get away with saying his fights are a draw. It's like when he not to go into the past too much, but it's like when he fought Caleb Plant. That fight kind of looked like a middleweight fighting a cruiserweight. If Caleb Plant was as big as him in that fight, Caleb Plant probably would have beat him. You see what I'm saying? So it's like Morell was able to take those hits. Anybody at 68 getting hit like that would have went down. They would have got demolished. He was able to take those hits and just keep coming, and he was countering David. He was hitting him. David's defense, Benavidez's defense is really good, but he couldn't knock him down. He was expected to knock Morell down. He was saying he's going to break his face. The casuals and people that know boxing, they were like, "Oh, Benavidez is going to knock him out." That's what they were all saying. And the fact that he was able to fight through that, he got him on the ropes. He's bombing on him, and it's not doing nothing. He's walking through that. He's hitting him back. He's counterpunching him. I would call that a draw just based off of that. That might sound crazy because Benavidez was hitting them more. So I get it, but I would have, if I was a judge, I would have said draw. I want to see, I want a rematch. I don't want him to move on. I want the rematch.
You know what?
Because I don't like talking about let me say this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like talking about Canelo because I know he's not going to fight him. So I don't know why people keep bringing up Canelo. But I want to see them rematch. I don't want to see him fight nobody else.
Well, let me say that people in the chat here are saying that you're nuts. However, let me say this. I think there's some. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. This was a competitive fight, number one. To your point, Benavides was hitting him flush with some shots. In fact, let me pull up the CompuBox here. According to CompuBox, which again they're not perfect, but they do sort of tell sometimes the story of the fight. According to CompuBox, Benavides landed 224 punches. Now, caller, let me ask you: if you're landing 224 punches on somebody, wouldn't you expect the guy to at least go down or get wobbled or something?
Yeah, I would. And like I said, Benavidez is the most dangerous fighter in boxing. If you get hit with clean shots from Benavidez, you're supposed to go down. You're not supposed to just keep standing there. He's not even wobbling, pause. He's not even making him, knocking him off balance. He's just right there with him. He's hitting him, so he's scoring points and he's winning the fight and he won the fight. I understand that. But if you get hit by Benavidez, you're supposed to go down. That dude is a killer in the ring. Like, there's a reason, I hate saying his fucking name, Canelo, but there's a reason why he didn't pick him to fight him. He understands, like, he's different. I'll fight Berlanga, but I won't fight him. Because nobody is as dangerous as Benavidez. But I was just impressed. This Morell guy got a bunch of amateur fights, but he's only got 11 fights. And he was able to not get beat to a bloody pulp by Benavidez. Everybody else did. And except him. That was just very impressive to me. So yes, realistically, Benavidez won the fight. I know that. I just would have rigged it and called it a draw so they can run it back, because that should be a rematch. That was a very competitive fight. I would love to see a rematch. But I'm not dumb. I know Benavidez won.
There you go. All right. Well, listen, caller, good call. We got to move on here, but thank you for your call and call back next time. Take it easy out there.
All right. Got you.
Take it easy, man.
Yep. Yeah,
listen, I'll say this as it pertains to his call is, well, let me read this donation here and then I'll piggyback off what the caller said. But shout out to Mars Boxeo for his contribution with the super chat. He says, Mr. BDA, Turkey has given an invitation to David to be ringside for Bivol Beterbiev. Benavidez, he's calling him Benavidez, will claim an injury and move to cruiserweight. Mark my words. Well, you know what? I'm going to mark them down, because I get the same feeling you do, Mars. But shout out to Mars Boxeo for his contribution. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like, hit the like. This is a post-fight call-in show. Phone number right there in the middle portion of your screen, left-hand middle portion of your screen. Call in, call in, call in, call in. Let's go to a phone call. Let's go to 818. 818, you're on the air. 818, what's on your mind?
Hello? BDA?
Yes, you're on the air, 818.
Hey, man, long time no talk. I like the fight. You know what, man? Like, I like David's style. It was brutal. I like the beating he gave to Morell. He got knocked down, obviously. I think he loses to Bivol and Benavidez, but I'd like to see him try to win, you know? Mm-hmm. It's one of those situations. I'd like to see him go for it. I see why not. I don't know, David, you know, for all the criticisms about his defense, he did pretty well tonight. Morell's a pretty accurate puncher, and David was able to, in my opinion, like, dodge a lot of those shots. Like, he did get clipped. I don't think I've seen him get rocked one. Even when he got knocked down, I don't think he was rocked at all. He still kind of got back up and was back in it.
Yeah, I mean, Benavides, we've done videos on him, how well he punches and then transitions to defense with that guard of his. He's very well, he's got very good reflexes. The problem has always been his footwork, though. He squares up. That's what.
The Morell. I don't know if you've seen the video or the clip of Morell doing the robot imitation. I thought that was pretty funny. That is David, but that robot, it's just, he does that stance and he just keeps coming forward and he's blocking everything and he's still doing that squared up stance. It's kind of weird. It's like, what the hell, a guy should usually back down or shell up when you hit him when he's coming forward to you like that. But David, it seems like he's like, I don't know. It kind of reminds me kind of like Jojo Diaz a bit, where he's just like in the pocket, but he's inside out, and he's like moving his head still, and it doesn't look like it, but he's still like elusive. It's weird.
Yeah, it's
and like I would.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I really would like to see him fight Benavidez though. Benavidez or Bivol. I think both those guys beat him, but I think they'd be good fights. I don't know. And shout out to Never Sobers, What Repted, Johnny Blaze, Sergeant, Pounds, stuff like that.
That's right, man. The crew. Hopefully, Reped's all right, man. Haven't heard. Now it's going to be a year and a half since we've heard from him. But shout out to Reped.
R.I.P. man. R.I.P. From what I heard your message in the last episode. You threw it out there, so I'm going to say, R.I.P.
No. I didn't say he's. I don't believe he's gone. I still think he's around.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was you. I don't know. I was in Discord and I saw you mention it, and I was just like, yeah, okay. So that's what BDA's putting out there now. So
No, that Sobers is starting to get in that into that narrative. I don't know. I'm still keeping hope alive. I'm like one of those Christians.
And shout out Not Boxing. The return.
Not? Oh yeah, Not. Yeah, shout out to Not. K Not. All right, man. Thank you for your call, man. Take it easy out there.
All right.
Have a good night. All right, man. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit that like. It really helps us out. Let's go to our phone call. Let's go to 319. 319, you're on the air. 319. What's on your mind?
Oh, this is Jack Scott. Just a couple things. First of all, that scorecard, man, like the second to last caller wasn't far off on that. Like the fight was kind of almost a draw if they didn't take that point. It's what was it? It was like 115 to 110 or 111, right? Mm-hmm. So if you count that 2-point swing and not taking a point there, depending how they scored the round, like that could have been a draw. But also, like, fuck Tim Cheatham. Tim Cheatham had that 118.
Right.
Like that's fucking ridiculous. Like, I don't understand how this shit can keep happening in boxing. Like, you can watch that fight 1,000 times, and you're gonna get 118.
We got to start calling out these judges the way you're doing, caller, because they put in they mail in these horrible scorecards and they just get another job the next week.
And then the second thing was like, where does Benavidez go after this? Because like he fought like 2 southpaws in a row, which would like line him up with Zurdo, and like the last caller said, like I don't think he wants any part of Bivol or Beterbiev. Like, if he squares up with Beterbiev, that's going to be a short night. And, like, he's not going to catch Bivol. Bivol will just pivot in and out all night. So, like, he can just rematch Morell, like, 2 more times or fight Zurdo, I guess. Like, fucking... because Canelo's not going to get in the fight because he weighs 200 pounds on fight night.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I just wonder what the PBC's got in store with this. Because they only got, like, Tank Davis and Benavidez now. I guess they got Bolton. Like, they have a couple belts. But
you'll notice...
what Turkey's going to offer him that it'll take.
You'll notice that after the fight, they made a big deal of... Or they emphasized Benavidez' nickname. They kept saying, the monster. They even asked him after the fight. Morell said you weren't the monster. Do you think you showed him that you were the monster? It's like, what? He didn't look like a monster, man. I'm sorry. So what do you think? That seems to be the question of the night. Yeah. Do you think he fights Beterbiev, Bivol winner?
I think he goes after Zurdo because it's another southpaw. And then, like, Zurdo's not, like, muscular, right? Zurdo's kind of, like, fucking soft. So maybe David could move up. Like, I don't know. He could fight, like, people beneath him, right? Like, there's guys he can beat at 175. I just don't think he's going to hold belts at 175. He's like an intern champion. He'd be like a gatekeeper.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. It's a lot of people. You're the 4th person now in a row to say that you don't think Benavidez, or that they don't think Benavidez is going to fight the winner of Bivol Beterbiev. Hopefully, we're wrong, because that's a fight I want to see, man. I want to see if he's the real deal. So we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, because like if you look at like what happened with Morell, like what rounds. Like 8, 9, 10, Benavidez is kind of zombie walking. You can tell he doesn't have the stamina to push around people his same weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was seeing glimpses of the
Vazov fight. Thank you, BDA.
Well, thank you for your call, man. Thank you, and have a good night. Call back next time. Take it easy out there. Yeah, I was gonna say he was hitting. I was getting glimpses of the Gvozdyk fight. He was hitting Morell, couldn't move him with the body shots, and that the uppercut from Benavides was the best weapon, snapping his head outboard. And even then, he didn't seem to inflict as much damage as he wanted to. Shout out to someone. Shout out to someone for his contribution via the Buy Me a Coffee. And he says, well, it's a late night edition, so I can say it. He says, "Fuck the coffee, have a beer on me." Well, listen, I haven't had a beer in a long time, but I will for you. Shout out to you, man. He says, "I like Benavides, but he better steer clear of our countryman Beterbiev. Us Canadians claim him as our own." That's right. Beterbiev is a Canadian citizen, I believe, at this point. So we're going to claim him, even though I am Mexican. I'm also a Canadian. I got Canadian citizenship too. Diplomatic immunity. So better watch out with Benavides. Shout out to someone for his contribution. By the way, I don't know if I should say this, but it's been over a year and a half since I had a drink, and I just had a teeny bitty little bit of a drink today, and man, I felt it. I felt like a teenager. It's like, whoa, my first time, bro. My goodness gracious. That's why I'm a little sleepy right now. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out. The phone number's right there in the left-hand middle portion of your screen. Going to be taking calls here. And speaking of calls, let's go to another one. Let's go to 310. 310, you're on the air. 310, what's on your mind?
You know what? I just want to say that anybody who thinks that it was a close fight, you missed a good fight. You missed a good fight because, man, I thought Benavidez definitely won. Morell showed some heart. I give him that. Mm-hmm. But Benavidez clearly won the fight. And as far as him getting knocked down, to me, I thought that was kind of like a flash knockdown. He wasn't hurting nothing like that because he got right back up and started pounding away on Morell. But overall, BJ, I must say, man, for once we got a fight that actually was worth the money. You know, it lived up to the billing. So, congratulations to both fighters. But David definitely was the better fighter. But he's not going to get that Canelo fight now. No way. There's no way Canelo's going to step in the ring with him now. I was hoping he would, but it's not going to happen now.
At what weight would that be at? Because Benavides said he's not going back down to 168.
True. I think the only way the fight's going to happen is if Benavidez gets to unify all the belts. If he gets to fight better BF or Bivol and get undisputed, and hopefully that'll entice Canelo to fight something like that, and they can meet at a catch weight of 172 or something like that, whatever they want to do. Mm-hmm. I don't know how, but I don't see that fight happening. I don't see it happening though.
Well, let me tell you.
But I must say, man, very impressed. Good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, before we get to Canelo, but Benavides, we gotta, Canelo's got to get past Crawford, and according to the experts or so-called experts, a lot of them are picking Crawford.
No way, Canelo's gonna wash Crawford. He's too big. You got to realize too that Crawford's gonna probably walk into the fight weighing about 170, right? Because he's gonna barely make 168, so he's not gonna rehydrate nothing like that. Right. Canelo's gonna walk in that ring weighing about close to 190. So come on, it's going to be Canelo's just too big for him, And one thing I don't like about what Canelo said, just to let you know, I hate when he says, all Benavidez brings is another 20, 25 pounds. Shit, man, how many pounds do you rehydrate to, Canelo? It ain't like you don't rehydrate 20 pounds yourself,
Yeah,
so come on, man. That Butler got to that Butler Canelo got to cut out all these excuses. 1 minute, I'm not going to fight Mexicans no more, and the next minute he goes and fights Munguia. You know what's up with that? Just tell like it is. And I don't like this crap that you got to be respectful. Come on, this is boxing. This ain't golf. You didn't have to kiss nobody's ass to get a fight, man.
I do agree with that.
He was over here trying to chase down. But check it out. He was trying to chase down the other Charlo brother, and that Charlo brother disrespected Canelo many times in the past. But yet Canelo really wanted to fight him bad, huh? So come on, man. Just keep it real. Keep it real. I used to be a Canelo, apologist sticking up for him, but man, there's only so much I could do. All these excuses, man. There's only so much I can do, man. But hey, great show. Benavidez did his job today, and no matter what anybody says, he was the right man to win tonight. But shout out to Morell. Morell has some heart. He's a great fighter too. And the future of boxing is looking good with those two guys.
Yeah, hopefully we get more.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the call, and call back next time. Take it easy out there. Yeah, man. I mean, fuck. What was I gonna say? I was gonna piggyback off something he said, but now I forgot. Let me just see if I got any pending messages here. Hold on a second. Hey, don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out. Helps us with the algorithm. Don't be shy. Hit that like. It takes 2 seconds. All right, shout out to Double L for his contribution with the super chat. He says, what the fuck was Fulton wearing? Yeah, we got to talk about that. I know Sobers was getting flashbacks to the hard wines that stole his shoes and phone in high school. Well, Fulton, I'll try to find a picture. Hopefully somebody can send it to me. But if he was wearing these trunks that looked like they were made out of denim, like these cut-off shorts, like this Daisy Duke shorts, and he was wearing construction boots. Obviously, they weren't real construction boots, but they looked like them. So he looked like a male prostitute. One of those male prostitutes you would see in Chelsea. And I know people are going to come at me. It's like, how do you know what a male prostitute looks like? Just because I see them on the street doesn't mean I'm paying them to suck my dick, guys, all right? I have stopped before and asked them for directions. Just a nice, clean, wholesome conversation. It's like, hey, excuse me, buddy. I even call him buddy. Hey, buddy. Just to be more manly. Hey, buddy. Where's the do you know where the female whorehouse is? I make a point to say that. So yes, I have talked to male whores before, but only to ask for directions. Believe me. Like I said, don't forget to hit the like, really helps us out. And shout out to Double L for his contribution with the super chat. Hopefully if somebody's still up on the Discord, send me a picture of Fulton. Because we got to talk about quite a fashion statement indeed. Let's go to a phone call here. Let's go to 713. 713, you're on the air. 713, what's on your mind?
Hello, this is Greg Terrible. I'm going to send you buy me a coffee in a little bit. The undercard kind of, it sucks. The only good fight was Morell versus Benavidez. But surprisingly, there was a lot of people that showed up, of course. At these times, they want Benavides to lose, but he didn't. I wouldn't say that Benavides had a flash knockdown. I don't think his balance wasn't there. That's why he sort of fell. But that fight was pretty good. The undercard really wasn't. But I'm glad that you got me on the show. Like I said, I'll send you some buy me a coffee money. But it's like Ronnie Shields. I noticed Ronnie Shields, he doesn't have that star pupil, and he's getting old. Mm-hmm. But I'm surprised Benavides Jr. has come a long way. Well, and he's young, and he's not like really he was never a fighter or a boxing trainer, assistant. He just, like, because of his kids, he just got into that role, and he's doing quite well. But man, I'm disappointed. Well, I'm like, my heart. Man, I wish Ronnie Shields had that star pupil, and his star pupil was Juan Diaz. Not that the years have gone by. Mm-hmm. The Charlo brothers, well, it's a disappointment, really.
What about Lara?
It was overall, sorry, say that again?
What about Arizona Lara?
No? Nah, I mean, he failed to win the fight with Canelo, and then with Perro Angulo, he won that fight, but Perro Angulo pushed him hard. But now he's not training with him. He's training with that Cuban trainer, Salas, out of Nevada. Uh-huh. So, anyway, that's my take on it. And I'm glad that I've been with, you picked up the phone and everything.
Of course.
But it was an okay, but the other card could have been better. For $80, And I didn't go watch it I didn't buy it. I went to at a local bar, and I spent $54 with wings and beers. And it was still under the, It was just it's like, I don't know who's thinking of these prices,
Right.
But anyway, thank you, sir. And hope to see you, hope to hear from you again. Thank you. Bye.
Well, thank you, Greg Terrible. Thank you for your call. Call back next time and have a good night, man. Take it easy out there. Yeah, shout out to Greg Terrible out there. Really appreciate his call. And shout out to everybody who just sent me. Somebody already sent me a bunch of people. Shout out to Sergeant, Nightmurph, and Anderson Aldo for sending me the pictures, relevant pictures of Stephen Fulton wearing his weird ass Chelsea, New York attire. Let me just before we continue, like I said, don't forget to hit the like. What was I also gonna say? Hit the like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And we're doing a post-fight call-in show. Phone numbers right there in the left and middle portion of your screen. Make sure to call in. And we're going to be here for at least another half an hour. So make sure to stay on board and call in and give us your thoughts. The question of the night seems to be, is Benavides going to fight the winner of Bivol Beterbiev? It seems we've already had about 5 people call in, and they have an itch, a bit of a feeling that Benavides will not be fighting him. In fact, when they asked Benavides who he wants to fight, he was a bit ambiguous about it. Why wouldn't he say, unequivocally say, I want the winner of Bivol Beterbiev? Because the winner has all the belts. Who else are you going to fight? And I can already hear it, by the way. If he fights Zurdo, people are going to say, well, he ducked Beterbiev Bivol. The counter-argument to that is going to be, well, how can he be ducking these guys if he's fighting a bigger dude? But is he really fighting Zurdo because it's a better challenge or an equal challenge? Or is it because he thinks he could beat that guy, whereas maybe he doesn't feel he could beat Beterbiev Bivol? Again, I don't know what Benavides is thinking. I don't think he's afraid of anybody. I don't have the same confidence in Samson Lukowicz, however. That guy's a promoter through and through. And I don't know if he's going to be so willing to put his pupil or his prize horse up against the winner of Benavides. Excuse me, I keep saying Benavides. Beterbiev Bivol. I just don't know. Let me read a couple of comments here. Power Fox says, Zurdo beats Benavides too. No place to hide now, David. Adam Hurley says, where's all the Mirage haters now? Don't answer that. Well, I mean, he said he was going to destroy Morell. That didn't happen. King KO says, dude, he lost. Waterway says, let me ace is all right. Those champs are good. Double L says, Never Sobers got mugged by an N that looked exactly like Fulton. Oh, come on. Same outfit and everything. My goodness gracious. JumpTube says he would mandate Canelo. Why would he mandate either of those guys? I gotta tell you, that's a good point, man. I hope I'm wrong, by the way. I hope I'm wrong, because I don't want to believe that they would be keeping that dude away from the winner of that fight. Real quick, well, okay, shout out to KnockoutNet for sending me the video there. Shout out to him. And like I said, don't forget to hit that like. And call in. The phone number's right there in the left and middle portion of your screen. Call in. Give us your thoughts on the fight. The other thing I wanted to say is this. Okay, so in terms of the Benavides fight versus Morell, I thought it was a good fight. It was entertaining. It wasn't boring. But I don't know. I expected more from Benavides. If you're a casual and you're just listening to what the commentators are saying, you would have expected more from the Mafta. I had my doubts coming in about whether Benavides was going to be able to stop Morell. In fact, if you watch some of the videos we posted over at, BD Clips, or secondary channel, I highlighted the fact that Benavides tends to slap. He puts a lot of weight on those slaps. They're still heavy slaps, but all of a sudden, now that he's fighting guys his own size, those slaps are... You saw Morell just put the earmuffs up, like Vozic, and he was absorbing the shots. He wasn't getting moved. Benavides is no longer pinning these guys on the ropes like the way he was doing with smaller guys like Ronald Ellis, Kyron Davis, Caleb Plant, Andrade. Couldn't quite do that, could he? In fact, one of the strongest guys he ever fought, Gavril, gave him a tough fight, especially the first one. So all of a sudden, you're starting to see the advantages that he had at super middleweight no longer there. He's still winning by virtue of the fact that he's got very good defense. I think people finally starting to realize that he's got underrated defense. But that balance of his ended up costing him a knockdown. And shout out to Anderson Aldo because he gave me a screen cap of one of those, of the knockdown. We're going to look at it momentarily. But first, shout out to everybody in the chat. Don't forget to hit the like. Let me go to a phone call here. Let's go to 619. 619, you're on the air. 619, what's on your mind?
Hey, hello?
Yes, 619, you're on the air.
Yeah, this is Gonzalo.
Oh, Gonzalo, what's up, man? What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good.
Just damn, it's kind of like more worse because I got all the picks, all the fighters that I picked to win. They won, and I picked Ramos by knockout. The only one that I missed was Isaac Cruz. So out of 4 fights, the only mistake I made was picking Isaac Cruz to win by KO, and that's the reason I lost my parlay.
Interesting. Hey, but pretty good result though.
Yeah. I just didn't realize that Shiro Fierro had never been knocked out. So when I went to the kiosk and the casino, I was like, I just did it off the top of my head, but that guy had never been knocked out. And Isaac Cruz went for it, but the other guy's just tough. It was a pretty good fight.
Well, let me ask you about that, Gonzalo, because we're talking about Benavides' power or lack thereof for 175. Do you think that's the same thing with Isaac Cruz a little bit? That now when he's at first of all, that his power maybe was never that concussive, and that now at 140 it's even less so?
Yeah, I saw some parallels there. Another connection because supposedly Mike Tyson was interested in coaching and training Isaac Cruz. Because he said, "Oh, he kind of resembles my style." But then you also had it to where Mike Tyson is a fan of David Benavidez, and he gave him the moniker and the name, the Mexican Monster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I saw some parallels there. And another thing, I can't say if the knockdown was legitimate or not, but I did see Morell land a hard shot on Benavidez, and he took it well. So his chin is still good. It's still there at 175.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's David Benavidez, right?
Right.
He's got a good chin. Like you said, he squares up, and he got knocked out balance. I don't think he was hurt because he came and he rallied back right after. And that's when I think David Morell landed the punch that was slightly after the bell, and he got deducted the point.
Well, let me ask you this, Gonzalo. Based on what you saw from Benavides, do you think he beats, forget Beterbiev for the moment, do you think Benavides beats Bivol?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. I think he beats all of them.
What? All of them?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think he beats Beterbiev too, because Beterbiev's 40. But then he Beterbiev could actually hurt you and knock you out, obviously. He's got a high KO percentage.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he performed very well today. I take nothing away from David Benavides' performance. Was it like you said, was it a bashing to where, he says, I want to hurt this guy, and he didn't get the knockout, but I mean, it was a pretty solid performance.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid performance. I mean, there was I didn't have any doubts that he won. I thought it was a competitive fight, but I certainly didn't have Morrell coming close to winning that fight. But it was a good fight against a good, strong guy. I just expected a little bit more. I mean, the expectation that they said was that he was going to be able to walk through this guy, a guy with 11 pro fights, and that didn't happen. So I don't know, man. I guess we'll talk about it more tomorrow. But I'm having my doubts about Benavides beating Bivol or Beterbiev. But we'll see what happens, man. Anything else you want to say?
Okay. No, it's just the thing that, the way he lets his hands go. I like how David Benavides, how he was peeling Morell's glove down to land that hook. And then he's so quick that when he throws a punch and he gets it in there, but then, you want to, counter, he'll counter the counter again. He's quick to throw a double and a triple, one after the other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fast for, your opponent to deal with. He gets those punches in.
Right.
Yeah. Now, do they slap him? Does he look like he's not doing it with a lot of power to where it's a little underwhelming? You would assume, well, why can't you just hit harder? Yeah, the power went down, but I like the fact that he lets his hands go.
Absolutely.
That's basically it.
All right, Gonzalo. Well, listen, we'll talk later, and thank you for your call, and call back next time. Oh, by the way, real quick.
Yeah, later.
Hold on, real quick. Based on everything that transpired, the undercard, the main event, do you regret a little bit not having gone there, or you think it was better not to show up there live?
No, I enjoyed it, watching it for my TV. Better.
All right, there you go. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Everything worked out.
Yeah.
All right, Gonzalo. We'll talk later, man. Thank you for your call.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Bye.
All right, man. Let's go to a phone call here. Don't forget to hit the like. Where are we with the likes, by the way? Real quick, we're at 53 likes. That's unacceptable, fellas. That is just unacceptable. At least 70 people. We need 17 likes. So 17 people, please hit that like. 17. Just 17 people. Hit the like. Otherwise, I think I might end this after this next call. And I'm not kidding. That's not an empty threat. Mr. BDA doesn't do empty threats. No, sorry, Bob. I hate to have to threaten people, but hey, that's the way the world works nowadays. Tariffs and everything. Oh, yeah, I'm going to place tariffs on you guys. That's what I'm going to do. Let's go to a phone call here. Let's go to 442. You're on the air. 442. What's on your mind?
Yeah, hello, how you doing today? My name is Sully. Yeah, I think it was a great fight. I think Morell showed a lot of flashes. I think as he gets better over time, you could see him becoming a great boxer. I just think the fact that you could tell that he's kind of went behind the ears a little bit. So I just think he needs some more time boxing to get better. As far as Benavidez, I think the fact that he showed some weakness, I think the fact that his power didn't really travel. So I think that's going to be a real problem he has moving forward. So that's my take. That's all.
Hey, but hold on. That's a very great take there, Sully. I'm curious because I'm asking people the question of the night. Do you think, based on what you said, do you think Benavidez fights the winner of Beterbiev Bivol?
Yes, I think he will because it's a big payday. In the end of the day, these fighters are looking for that awesome payday. So I think he'll take it, but I think that fight might bring him back to earth.
Yeah,
because I don't really see him winning that fight.
I get the same feeling there, Sully. And by the way, you make a good point. The money, the Turkey Al Sheikh would probably be funding this enterprise. So there is compensation on the line for that. But if the Benavidez doesn't take it, I don't know. It would be weird. It would be weird for him to skirt that challenge. Anything else you want to say, Sully, before we move on?
He'll take it. He'll still definitely take it, though, because, it's too much of a big payday. I mean, that one fight could make your whole life, right? You know what I mean? It's like a $20 million fight. So you're not going to let that go, So they'll go ahead and take it.
Absolutely. By the way, I like the name Sully. You're like a cat, like a sea captain.
Thank you.
Sully.
I appreciate it.
There you go. Arr, matey. All right,
okay.
matey. Thank you for your call, and take it easy, man. Thank you for your call, and call back next time, man. Have a good night.
I will. Definitely. Bye.
All right. That was Sully, who believes that Benavidez will be fighting the Beterbiev Bivol winner. Let's go to the chat here. What are people saying? I want to get to the whole Fulton thing too, by the way, because that was a bit of a surprise. I don't think a lot of the people were predicting that Figueroa was going to walk through him. That didn't happen, so that's a surprising result for a lot of people. King KO says Yardy would beat Benavidez. You know what? I don't know if he beats him, but that's another strong light heavyweight. I mean, he gave Beterbiev hell. He did have that one good run against Kovalev about, what was it now, 7 years ago now? He has improved. Isn't he going to be fighting the dude he fought twice? What was his name again? The other Y. His name's with a Y too. Who recently lost to Bivol. Anyway, again, fellas, midnight. It's 1 a.m. here. I'm forgetting the names. Scrap TV says Beterbiev is the only guy I see beating Benavidez, and he's getting old. Arthur, yes, Lyndon Arthur. Thank you, Sergeant. Thank you, Lyndon Arthur. You know what? I think Lyndon Arthur gives Benavidez a good fight. I think it looks a lot like the Gvozdyk bout looked. I don't know, man. But can I just say something real quick before I get to Benavidez? Because I mean, a lot of callers have already said a lot of what I thought about this fight, but I want to add a couple of more wrinkles. However, I do want to talk about Morell. First of all, what I said about the Cuban fans stood true. In the last 12 hours before this fight, I was reading a lot of comments. I was going around the interweb, really looking to see what people were saying, their picks and all that. A lot of Cubans were talking a lot of smack. I gotta tell you that they're a small contingent of fans, and yet very vociferous, very vocal, and very truculent at times. They were saying, Morell, ya vas a ver, mano, le va a ganar Benavidez. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, look, listen, I agreed. But Morell had a path to victory here. No doubt about that. But a lot of them were acting like Benavidez had no shot. And I'm thinking, hold on a second. When people say that Benavides was weight bullying at 168, the same applied to Morell. He was weight bullying as well. And it was no surprise that when both guys stepped up to 175, their first fight at 175, they both looked average. So I don't understand why anybody was picking one guy in this fight overwhelmingly. Like, oh yeah, the other guy's got no shot. How does the other guy have no shot? Now, the Morell, let's stick to him. Forget about what the fans say, because fans are going to talk no matter what. Morell was doing a lot of talking too before this fight. With only 11 pro fights, he was acting. In fact, somebody left that comment in the last episode we did, because we picked a lot of us picked Benavides to win, which was a standard, by the way. He was a favorite for a reason. He was just more experienced, and we picked him to win. And one guy in the comment section goes, "Oh, this was like a Benavides wank fest. You guys are a bunch of Benavides fanboys. You'll see tomorrow night. You'll see." Okay, what do we see? All that talk. But see, that's why I hate when people, again, I don't take it personal. I understand it's the internet. I've been on the internet for 25 years or more. I made my bones on the message board, so I'm used to some of this smack talk. But the people that talk with so much confidence, you're gonna be crying on Saturday. First of all, who the fuck cries over a boxing fight? Are you mentally challenged or something? And again, so much confidence from the Morell people and from Morell himself. That he overshot the mark. He thought fighting bumps over at the PBC made him think he was better than what he actually was. And he should have had a wake-up call against Kalajic, and yet he didn't. He still thought, oh yeah, people don't, when they watch Benavides fight, they don't see, and now people finally saw it. Because Benavides for the power puncher, and he was able to pick off a lot of those shots. He has a very good guard. It's a dynamic guard, and he's got very good reflexes. And Morell was just headhunting throughout most of the fight. I want to talk about that more, but let me go to the phone call here. Let me go to the phone lines, rather. Excuse me. Let's go to 209. 209, you're on the air. 209, what's on your mind?
Hey, oh, man, I just seen that David Benavides fight. He ain't going to beat Canelo. Man, he got rocked in the fourth round by, what was it, a right hook or something like that?
It was a jab.
And Benavides, jab. Even worse. And Benavides had all his strength still, so I don't think he's going to beat Bivol, Benavides. He definitely ain't going to beat Canelo. I don't know. Where do you think he goes from here? He's not nothing special to me. He has like a Tyson Fury type body, but I mean that don't really matter in boxing. But he's trash. I think he's trash.
Whoa. Well, let me just meet you down in the middle there. I do agree that he was overrated by some. I certainly don't think he's trash. I will say, wouldn't you agree that he sort of did look a little special at 168 where he had a weight advantage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, he did. But I think at 175, he might not be trash, but he's not as good as he was at 168, I think. And then he said he wants to go to cruiserweight. I mean, he doesn't even, I don't know. I don't think he's anything special.
Well, first of all, before we get to cruiserweight, I must say, I really like Jim Blampley. I dig the interviews that he has over when he goes on the 3 knockdown rule with Steve Kim and Mario Lopez. But I don't understand where he's coming from, where he's been saying it for the past year now. He believes Benavides could contend at heavyweight. And he kept saying
crazy.
This. He kept saying this after the Gvozdyk fight, caller. Well, what do you think about old Lampley? You think he's starting to lose it a little bit, or?
He better stay out of the heavyweights. Andy Ruiz called him out, right?
Oh, did he?
I think he should probably. Yeah, that's what I seen on either Fight Hub or something like that. Andy Ruiz was like, "Hey, you can come and fight me if you want."
Interesting. What the fuck?
I don't know. I think that I don't know, that Morell looked good. I mean, for 9 or 11 fights. But I was kind of surprised how Benavides got rocked. I know he got rocked in the fourth round. That knockdown probably wasn't really a clear knockdown, but I seen his legs buckle in the fourth round. I don't know. Maybe Canelo would take the fight, maybe not. I just think he's not going to take the fight because he talks too much crap. But, I mean, shut him up. Shit. But, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I'm a little perturbed by the fact that Benavides, people say Canelo flip-flops. Benavides is on the same level. If you want to see Canelo flip-flops, he said, "I'm done with Canelo." Then the next week he keeps mentioning Canelo. Then he says on the Andrew Ward podcast, "Oh, they turned down a $70 million offer." So apparently, according to him, there's been offers for $100 mil. There's been offers for $70 mil. There's been offers for $50 mil. There was an offer for $200 plus a bus pass. I mean, he just keeps changing the numbers. I don't even know if he's being serious. So based off of that, he's been mentioning Canelo. He didn't mention Beterbiev or Bivol. Hey, by the way, did you happen to see that? That's where I was gonna go. Did you see the post-fight press conference? Because I'm curious there must have been somebody who asked him about those guys, right? Somebody must have brought up those names specifically.
No, I'm at work. I just live streamed it. I just saw the fight from the second round on to the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I didn't see the post-fight interview.
Well, I'm curious to see if anybody asked him about that, because when he was in the ring, he didn't mention Beterbiev or Bivol. Maybe I missed it, but it's looking likely that maybe he won't fight those guys. Maybe he doesn't want to after tonight. I don't know. Hopefully I'm wrong, caller. Hopefully I'm wrong.
Man.
Well,
yeah,
that's what it is, man.
Benavides, he gets stopped by Beterbiev. Bivol, I think Bivol just beats him up, possibly maybe gets a knockdown. Those guys are strong as hell. I think he should stay out of their realm. But it was a decent fight, I guess. Where does he go from here? I still want to see the Canelo fight.
Yeah, I still wouldn't get made at 168 though. Benavides says he's not gonna fight there anymore. Then again, he said a bunch of things that he's gone back on as well. So who knows, man? Who knows? Well, listen, we gotta go, caller. But thank you for your call, and call back next time, man. Take it easy out there.
All right, have a good one.
You too, man. Take
Bye.
it easy. Somebody's saying, who said JumpTube? I think JumpTube said that the press conference heating up. What's going on? Did Luis de Cubas finally bit somebody? Did he bite somebody? He's having flashbacks to the hoedown. The hoedown. Real quick, shout out to Greg Terrible. Says hello via the Buy Me a Coffee app. Shout out to you, Greg. You didn't have to do that, man. The phone call sufficed. But we appreciate it anyway, man. Thank you for your contribution, man. Really appreciate it. And shout out to everybody who's been calling in so far. We're still here on the air, taking your phone calls. Shout out to Thunderdome. Shout out to Thunderdome Boxing Talk. One of the best channels out there. Go check him out. Go subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you haven't subscribed to him yet, I don't know what you've been doing, but go check him out. I think he actually called this fight down to a T, if I remember correctly. I mean, Benavides was the favorite for a reason, but still, it's Morell just too green, man. I think, there was one caller who did say that he want, the one that said he had this fight a draw. He did say he wants to see a rematch, and I think he's right, but I think Morell would need at least a year and a half. I mean, I want to get to that later. But let me just check if the press conference is going, if it's still going. Benavides Morell post-fight press conference. No, it ended. No, did it end? So give me 2 seconds. Post-fight press conference. I don't see it. It's oh no, it's still ongoing. Let me play the audio real quick. See what they're doing.
Get your take on whether you felt like you could just basically kind of, I'd not say.
Okay, so Morell probably already went ahead, right? Yeah, he probably. Fucking Luis de Cubas he looks like he's munching on something, like a camel.
Un poco no me tardé en reaccionar. Me tardé en reaccionar y creo que se fue.
All right, we'll check that out tomorrow. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Don't forget to hit the like. Let me go to a phone call here. Let's go to 561. 561, you're on the air. 561, what's on your mind?
Hello.
Yes, 561, you're on the air.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man.
What did you fight? Was it a great fight?
A great fight? It was a good fight. I was entertained. How about you, caller? Were you entertained?
I thought it was fantastic. I want to see a rematch.
You want to see a rematch?
Yeah.
First of all,
Morell won.
You sound a little familiar. First of all, but break it down, caller. You said it's a draw, and I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. You sound like a very smart caller. Very smart caller. So go ahead.
Well, first of all, Morell was robbed. And I'm going to tell you why he was robbed. He knocked him down. That fucking referee takes a point away. They're in the middle of action. He hits him a little bit after the bell, takes a point away. What do you think that was about?
I think it sounds like some anti-Cuban sentiment going on here.
You got it, Chico.
I mean, you know what? The referee, he looks like a former military CIA guy working at a CIA front office over there in Cuba, teaching the regime how to torture people.
It sounds like anti-Cuban propaganda.
That's what I'm thinking. Are you in any way affiliated with Don Francisco from the Cuba?
I shouldn't say.
All right, there you go. We're not gonna get anything out of him. He's got the dossier on everybody, and he knows about counterintelligence. He will not reveal his name. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's not even his real number. 561. I'm pretty sure that's you're using some sort of scrambler, right?
Absolutely, you know me.
All right, is this recognized, by the way? You got it. All right. It sounds like recognized, but it's not recognized. It sounds like recognized. It sounds like recognized, but it's not. It's just, a whole bunch of people sound like recognized. What do you want from me?
I was trying to sound Cuban, but I couldn't pull it off.
Yeah, come on, man. I mean, by the way, I think Bucho already showed it to you. He told me about it, but the whole Benicio del Toro, when the way he speaks English and then when he speaks Spanish, isn't that a little jarring? Doesn't it sound fake the way he transitions between one accent, completely transatlantic, whatever they call it, and then he sounds like your uncle playing dominoes in the street? You know what I'm talking about, right? You remember the clip Bucha showed you?
I remember it. You know what I think he speaks like? Remember Sicario? Remember when he's speaking English in Sicario?
Right.
I think that's what he really speaks like when he speaks English.
But do you think he's
not that he sounds Mexican? I'm not saying that.
Right. But do you think he's hamming it up when he starts speaking Spanish like this?
Y tenía esa conexión. Y entonces llegó un momento en que yo estaba haciendo una película que se llama Basquiat y yo le pido a...
I mean, come on. He's That's not how he talks when he speaks English. He's not saying...
when he said película.
And then when he says, le pido una camisa.
Yeah, he tried his best there. He tried his best.
He's faking the funk.
Morell tried his best. Morell tried his best, and so did David Benavides. I really think Benavides really tried to. I think he really tried to make a statement, but and I don't want to totally shit on him, but I'm telling you, BDA, he ain't beating. He's not beating either one of those guys. They could have a war where both of them come out of there handicapped, and I think they'll still beat Benavides.
Well, I mean, let me ask you about
talking about Bivol and Beterbiev.
So what do you think? Do you think Benavides will fight the winner, or you think he's going to vamoose to cruiserweight?
Well, why didn't he call them out?
Good question.
Why did he even move up to 175?
Yeah, what was the plan?
What's the point?
You know what? Recognize you always cut to the BS straight off the bat, man. Yeah, what was the point of moving up then?
He tried to make it look like, there was a reason to go up there. He was going to try to, become champion up at 175. I think he got a wake-up call with the Vosdick fight and probably with Morell. A guy who, by the way, is just as big as him, right? Morell was at 168 too. And this was his second fight. Well, this was their second fight campaigning at light heavyweight. And I think he understands that he more likely is not as good as he was at 168. And the reason why he was really good at 168 was because he has a much he has more of a weight advantage come fight night.
Absolutely.
And so he's probably stuck right now. He's like, shit, you know, if I fight Beterbiev, the winner between Beterbiev and Bivol, and there's a good chance I get beat like handily. If I go back down in 168, it looks like I'm begging Canelo for a fight, but that's what you should have been doing in the beginning anyway.
Well, I don't know if you're going to be available for tomorrow. I don't know if you're going to be there for tomorrow's show. So the other thing I wanted to ask you is, you know me, I'm not a big fan of the trash talking. Morell did a lot of trash talking, and he failed to deliver. What did you think?
Not shocked at all. When he was talking all that trash, I was like, oh boy. Sometimes he's going to let himself down.
Yeah,
and
man.
You know what? He doesn't have anything to like really. I wouldn't really be too ashamed if I was him, because I thought he had some moments. I thought he hurt Benavides a few times in that fight. The knockdown, that 11th round, he clearly won. At least in my opinion, he was clearly winning that 11th round. And then he gets that flash knockdown. And, you know, obviously Benavides wasn't really, you know, he wasn't really that hurt. He got right back into the fight. He's pushing Morell back. And I thought it was real shitty what the referee did. I mean, if you look at the punch after the bell, it was like maybe a half a second. It's like the punch was already in motion when the bell rang.
The referee was really angry. And I'm thinking, why are you so angry? Why are you taking it personal? It's like, it's almost as if he took it as an affront to him. Now, you respect me. It's like, why? Come on, take it easy, man. But I mean, it was after the bell, so I understand. But it was also in the, you know, after an exchange. So I don't know. It was still after the bell. I'm not excusing it, but the way the referee reacted, like it was this big affront. I don't know. I'm starting to dislike that referee, and I'm telling you,
they were heated. They were.
Yeah.
There was a lot of action in that round. Go back to that round. You'll see that there was a lot of action. Morell was backing him up. Benavides was fighting back, catching him in between punches. He's catching Benavides. Benavides is, you know, he's playing possum a little bit, but you can tell he's banged up. You know, he scores an official knockdown. Benavides is back, you know, in his chest, pushing him back, and he's trying to fight back. I mean, fuck that referee. Anyway, I had it like 8 rounds to 4 for Benavides. I had it 8-4. I thought it was a solid. I'll give him a solid win, but to me, he's in no man's land. He can't beat the winner of Benavides, Beterbiev. And I think Canelo beat him too.
Oh, well, there you go. All right, recognized, man. We're gonna.
And I think Canelo might.
Go ahead.
Yes.
No, go ahead.
No, I said I think Canelo would drop him and probably 8-4 him.
Jeez, Luis. All right, interesting. And we're going to talk more about that, man. We're going to talk more about that because I'm curious about where Benavides goes from here. All right, recognize. Appreciate your call, man, and stay frosty out there during the night. Take it easy out there, man.
Una esa la película.
Me pongo la camisa. All right, take it easy, man.
Una camisa. All right. Talk to you later.
All right, man. All right, that was Recognize the Matrix right there, giving us a lowdown, the straight shot, the dossier on Puerto Rican accents. Let's go to the wild card line here. We got an anonymous caller. Anonymous, you're on the air. Anonymous, what's on your mind?
Yo.
Yes, you're on the air, Anonymous.
Hi. Everybody's mad that Benavides won.
Okay, everyone's mad. Go ahead.
Yeah. He got knocked down. I think we can all agree that happens in boxing.
Sure, a lot of things happen in boxing.
Yeah, he was on the front foot most of the time. He landed the most punches that any Morell opponent had landed. Morell is no slouch. He's a monster himself. And he was talking a lot of smack, but did you see him talk smack after?
I dare say he got humbled. He was humbled.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. He got humbled. He wasn't talking the smack that he was after, was he?
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you. Look, listen, I agree with you. Benavides coming forward. He's still fighting the way he fought at 168. Just the result isn't as destructive as he was. However, the defense is on point. That's for sure. More and more people are realizing. But going back to the landed punches, he landed 224 punches according to CompuBox, and he never put the guy in any serious danger. Do you think the punching power is a bit of a concern at 175?
I think going forward, yes, it might. He might when he comes in front of these bigger punchers. Let's say Benavidez, Yeah, there might be some problem there. I don't know. I think what we can take away from this is that yes, he's been knocked down. It hasn't been by a strong puncher. It has been against Morell, but I think we can say that it looked like he was off balance. And even though he got knocked down, he got right up and actually fought to the end of the round. It wasn't like he was just defensive, He still threw punches. He was still going at it, even at the end of the round.
Yeah, that's what I like. The fact that he got dropped and he did get stunned at least twice that I saw, but he kept being aggressive. So that's what I do like about him.
Right.
You just have to wonder what's going to happen when he fights a puncher who's more seasoned than an 11-0 Morell. Well, let me ask you though, the question of the night.
Right, but an 11 Morell.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I was just saying how Morell is an 11-0 fighter. He's the one that pushed for this fight. Mostly, he's the one that called Benavides out. Was actually chasing him from 168 over to 175. So and actually Morell as well as Benavides, they started at 175, came down and then went back up. But like what I'm saying is Morell chased this fight. He said he talked a lot of smack and it didn't happen. Yes, he has 11 fights, but let's not get that in the way, right? He's a hell of a fighter. We can all agree that, yes?
I don't know, man. It's 2 fights in a row now where he didn't look all that great.
Oh, well, so then what's the issue then? Benavides fucked his ass up.
He what?
Benavides fucked him up. Like, he messed his ass up. Like, we can all agree that Morell, we thought, was going to do better. That he wasn't going to get touched up as much. That he was going to counter. That he was going to use what we thought was going to give Benavides more of a challenge.
I wasn't thinking that, caller. I was actually pretty cognizant of the fact that his limited experience was going to cost him in this fight. I certainly didn't expect Benavides. I mean, that was what some people were saying, but some of the people that I was talking to were saying that it was actually going to favor Benavides. It was going to be competitive, but eventually Morell's inexperience was going to cost him.
Yeah, I think we can see that now. His inexperience cost him. But yes, I do think with the more experienced fighters at 175 feet, Benavides is definitely going to run into some issues and a lot of trouble. But I feel like this has been going on through his entire career, where he's faced adversaries and he manages to come out on top somehow.
Yeah, he deserves credit for that because he keeps winning, though. I mean, we can all say, well, he didn't look as we can talk about the expectations. Some people had high expectations, some people had low. Right. The fact of the matter is, like you said, he keeps winning. That's a good point. The other thing I want to ask you before we move on, do you think, this is a question of the night, do you think he faces the winner of Beterbiev Bivol?
I think he should. I don't know if he will.
Interesting. All right. I want to see it happen. That's for sure. But you're right. It's two different
Yeah, I think
questions.
that we all do. It's going to be one hell of a fight.
I agree with you again, man. Absolutely. All right. Well, listen, thank you for your call, Anonymous. Call back next time. All right, man? Take it easy out there. All right. That was Anonymous right there. That was a good call. Let me go to the... Oh, shout out to Jesus Pardo for his contribution with the Super Chat. He says, Hay was humbled. Man, hang up on this gator. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. He says, hang up on this gator. I mean, I think the caller made some good points, man. I think he made some, he explained himself well. But shout out to Jesus Pardo for his contribution. I have to read it. Legally, I'm obliged to read the comments from the Buy Me a Coffee. So shout out to Jesus Pardo. I think it was a little bit too rough with the caller, but shout out to both of them. Maybe we should get them together. And a phone call. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. You know, I forgot to check the likes. We are at, we got to 70, and we're one like away from 80. So if you want me to stay on here for a little bit more, make sure to hit one more person, hit that like, and we're up to 80. Really appreciate it. Really helps us out. I saw a good comment here from Barry Nivola, who says, there we go. He said, that doesn't mean he's a bum. It just means we can all see that David Benavides has just about peaked. It's still pretty good. Like what was said earlier, Benavides just can't beat the two pound-for-pound fighters, B and B. See, that's a good way of putting it, because I want to reiterate something I said earlier this week about Shakur Stevens. I said that I wasn't disappointed in the Hartunonian fight, if I even pronounce it correctly, but when he fought the Armenian guy in the last fight, I wasn't disappointed. I certainly wouldn't have been one of those people that was, walking out of the arena early. Why did I find that fight okay? Because it was about what I expected. I didn't I didn't trust or take to heart what Shakur Stevenson was saying prior to the fight. I'm going to bust this guy up. I'm going to walk forward. Okay, he walked forward, but I wasn't expecting a stoppage. Or rather, excuse me, I do remember saying that I thought that maybe he could drop Hartunonian to the body, because I do think the guy was soft to the body after the Frank Martin fight. But so I was disappointed in that regard, but overall I wasn't, because I knew what to expect from Shakur Stevenson. I think he's peaked at lightweight, in terms of power at least. He's not going to turn into a power puncher all of a sudden. This is the limit. This is what you get, guys. At best, from Shakur Stevens, you're going to get a guy who walks forward and outworks his opponents. And it's the same thing to what Baron Nivola is saying. David Benavides is not going to be a destroyer at 175. What you've been seeing here is about the best you're going to get. He's going to outwork guys. He's got a very good guard, very good defense, underrated reflexes. But you also saw some of those deficiencies that he could sort of occult at 168. Now all of a sudden showing up. He's still off balance. He still squares himself up. He got, it shouldn't have been a knockdown, but it was what it was. He was off balance. He got caught. He did get hurt at least twice. And all of a sudden, he couldn't move his opponent or bully his opponent as easily as he was at 168. So this is what you're going to get. You're going to get a guy that's outworking people. And maybe if the guy he fights next isn't in shape, maybe he could stop him. Maybe he drops him or something. But I'd be very surprised if you start seeing him looking like he was at 168. He's not fighting smaller guys anymore. And even some of the guys he was fighting, just to give you put in perspective, Caleb Plant's not a little guy. He's a strong dude. And Benavides looked bigger than him. Same thing with Andrade. Somebody was saying earlier, I was reading an article saying, Andrade was much smaller than Benavides. I didn't see that small a guy. Andrade filled up for that fight. Very muscle-bound. And still looks smaller than Benavides. So this is a different ball game now. In a different dimension, that's for sure. Dex 2024 says, as for David, that monster will become prey for Arthur. Mark my words. Referring to Beterbiev right there. Scrap TV says, hopefully Beterbiev wins. I want to see Benavides go to war. Well, see, that brings up another point there. Who has the better chance of beating Benavides, or at least beating more convincingly? I will say that I think Bivol beats him because, just based off the Gvozdyk fight, the way Benavides beat Gvozdyk was the way a younger man's supposed to beat an older guy. He outworked him. That's what he did. He was, Gvozdyk didn't want to get into exchanges because he couldn't keep up with Benavides. He was fighting in spurts. So I expected, what happened was, okay, he won because of youth, in a way, Benavides. He fights Bivol. He's not going to have that advantage anymore. Bivol is going to be punching with him. He's going to be punching without him. He's going to be moving, and he's going to be able to absorb the shots. Canelo, punch for punch, hits harder than Benavides. He couldn't put a dent into Bivol. I mean, well, he did blow up his arm. You know, he got one of those arms swollen, but Bivol took him in the fight where it counts. He never wore down. Benavides is more active in the ring than Canelo. He's got a more voluminous approach to his attack, but he also slaps more than Canelo does. So I'm confident that Bivol takes those shots. Bivol is very good at moving around the ring with his guard up, and I don't see Benavides causing enough damage to wear him down or even stop him. Before you even talk about stopping a guy, you better talk about whether you can beat him via decision. And it's a tough ask of Benavides. And that's saying something because he's very good. Let's go to a phone call here. Let's go to 909. 909, you're on the air. 909, what's on your mind?
What's up, BDA? Earl Stevens.
Oh, Earl, what's up, man?
What's up, man? I'm just calling to give Benavides his flowers. I was impressed by his performance. Yeah, you could say he lacked power or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of already knew he lacked power. Then, the expectations that he was going to bully a guy like David Morrell at 175, I didn't come up with expectations. I knew this guy was strong. I knew the people at 175 are strong. But I was impressed by his defense and his shot selection. Well, a lot of people don't talk about in boxing. Well, the difference between Benavides and a lot of these fighters is his ability to punch. He's very versatile with his punches. He throws them at different angles. Not every hook looks the same. They all come from slightly different angles, and it keeps his opponents guessing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's great. And if you notice, his style is changing at 175, almost like Canelo. How Canelo used to throw combinations at the lighter weight classes. He knows that at these higher weight classes, he can't be throwing more than 2 shots. In the whole fight, he didn't throw more than 2 shots at a time. It was 2 shots at the most, and then keep his guard up because he knows these guys at these higher weight classes have the power to hurt him. So he needs to be defensively minded. He's not going to be as careless in these weight classes. So he's throwing 1 shot or 2 shots at a time at the most, and being very precise, very fast, and very versatile with his punches. That's what puts him above other fighters in that division, that and his stamina. But yeah, I think he looked good. I think his punches are great. His punch selection is great. His actual punching technique is great. His defense is great.
Mm-hmm.
His power, he just lacks power. But yes, but I was going through YouTube right now. A lot of people are shitting on his performance, but I knew it was gonna be a tough fight. You know, you got 2 young dudes that are in their prime. Morell's a dangerous dude, so I didn't come with the expectation that Benavides was gonna run him over.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a good fight.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's all based on expectations. If people expected him to run through Morell, then yeah, I suppose those people could be disappointed. Now, if you expected a good competitive fight against a strong puncher like Morell, and then this fight went about as you expected. Also, you got to keep in mind, Earl, people are comparing this. I think people are saying, "Oh, it was a disappointing performance," because they were expecting Benavides to show something more to see if he could beat a guy like Beterbiev or Bivol. I think that's also what people are getting hung up on. Comparing him to those 2 guys.
Yeah.
But you're right, though. Listen, one thing about Morell is we knew he had the power punching advantage in this fight. Punch for punch, he hits harder than Benavides. And you saw Benavides stunned, and he was still very aggressive despite being hurt. So I give him a lot of credit for that as well.
Yeah. And I was really impressed with his defense. He seems to cover his whole body when he shells up. His forearms cover his stomach, and his hands and his wrists cover his head really good. It's only when he gets caught off guard when he really gets caught. But when he wants to be defensively sound, he can shell up pretty good. I was impressed with that, probably the most.
Yeah, a very, very good transition from offense to defense. People finally started realizing that. I was looking through Twitter, and some people were saying, "Yeah, man." Not Twitter. Anyway, another message board, and people were saying, "Yeah, man, he's got pretty good defense." So, shout out to him.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right about people not looking at him to beat Beterbiev or Bivol. Those are tough fights for him because he doesn't have the power. That's the one thing he lacks. But it's very interesting how him, similar to Canelo, moving up in weight class, he started having similar tendencies where they're kind of like moving forward and like kind of boxing, punching in your face, putting the pressure on, throwing 1 or 2 shots at a time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very interesting to watch that.
Absolutely, man. Hopefully we see more from Benavides and not just one fight per year, the way he had in 2024. All right, Earl, thank you for your call, man, and call back next time, man. Take it easy out there.
All right, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, though. It's was it a disappointing performance? Well, if you were expecting him to show something that you could go, okay, he definitely beats Petrovic and Bivol, then I guess you could say, yes, it was disappointing. But there was good and bad. It went about as I expected. But again, yeah, Morell did a lot of talking, too. I must reiterate that. It's like, you're talking so much. You're saying he's a robot, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? RoboCop beat you. What else was going to say about that? But Benavides, he's very good, but it's just, he's like Baron Nivola said, he's peaked. And it happens with fighters. We've been seeing it at least in the last couple of years where a guy will be dominant for about 3-4 fights against solid opposition, and then you see people going overboard. Well, he can move up 2 divisions, he can do this, he can do that. And then he fights somebody good, and he sort of, hits an impasse. And you can see he's peaked right there. And you're seeing that with Benavides now. He's going to, I think, listen, would you really, you don't think he could beat Willie Hutchinson? You don't think he could beat Callum Smith? I think he beats those guys. Anthony Yard, I'm not sure. I think he could beat Joshua Buatsi, but again, I'm not sure. I definitely would favor Bivol and Beterbiev over him, but he's a contender now at light heavyweight. But it's just now people have to get it out of their heads that he's going to be dominating like he was at 168. It's not going to happen. But he's a dangerous guy still. Yeah, anybody who wants to beat him has to pack a lunch because they're in for a night of work. So I think that's the realist approach to see. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I do hope that Benavides fights more than just once a year. Hopefully he didn't get injured in this fight. And because he was whacking Morell with a lot of shots and wasn't moving him. And that's sort of what got him injured against Vozic. So we'll see what happens. Also, I'm looking at some messages here. Apparently, Eddie Reynoso was at the fight. Reynoso was at the fight. He was also seen at the concession stand a lot, apparently. No, I'm kidding. But he was at the fight, and now some people are asking, was this a scouting mission to see what's up with Benavides? Also, don't forget that people are bringing up Canelo again. Canelo's got to get through Crawford. And like I said, if you listen to what some of these so-called experts out there were saying, they were saying Crawford beats Canelo. And we've been seeing it in the past couple of weeks now. Now the narrative is, well, Crawford's not that much smaller than Canelo. So the narratives are changing coming into that fight, if it even gets made, which apparently it will. But I don't know, man. I mean, Canelo Benavides, could it happen? If anybody can make it happen, it's the Sheik. He just has to dip into his pockets and come up with a couple of mil, and he can set that fight up. But will it happen? That's the question. But, I want to give a shout out to the Filthy Casual over on Twitter. He brings up a good point. Well, he's quoting Steve Kim here. He's responding to Steve Kim. Steve Kim said, here's hoping that Benavides does actually face the winner of Beterbiev Bivol. Either matchup is incredibly intriguing. If you want boxing to be taken more seriously, it's a fight like this it's fights like this, he says, that need to happen. And then the Filthy Casual said, I agreed. Benavides moving up to cruiserweight to possibly face Zurdo Ramirez without having first faced the undisputed champion of the light heavyweight division does absolutely nothing for the health of boxing as a sport. And I reiterate what Recognize asked rhetorically. He said, well, what's the point of Benavides moving up to 175 if he's not going to fight the winner of Beterbiev Bivol? I mean, those are the best guys in the division. What's the point of moving up? What was the point of it? Was it just to no longer make 168? Was it just to take a little bit of a respite, or was it a pit stop to cruiserweight? Because I don't recall him ever saying that he was that, he's been mentioning Canelo more than he's been mentioning Zurdo Ramirez, as far as I know. Why all of a sudden this fascination with fighting Zurdo Ramirez at cruiserweight? And by the way Zurdo and Chris Billam-Smith went to war, I don't even know if Benavides beats Chris Billam-Smith. So it's a weird fight. Also, I want to say one thing. Morell, I want to go back to Morell. He asked for this fight, that's true. but you could see the lack of experience. You could see the inexperience in this fight. Too much headhunting. Way too much headhunting. He should have gone with those shots to the plexus. Benavides is wide open to those shots to the plexus. And with the power that Morell has, I think he could have done some damage down there. Could have worn down Benavides. Because Benavides, like we said, he's got a very good guard. You start hitting him with some power shots that he now is going to feel at 175, things might have looked differently with that hand placement. But see, this is the thing. Fighting the Shana Agbekos of the world and some of these other dudes that he was fighting over there in Minnesota under the PBC manner does nothing to prepare you to try to solve the guard that Benavides presents. And Benavides bought his own hype, beating up some of these dudes. Finally stepped it up, couldn't find too much headhunting. And even then, he still had some success. He's a big power puncher. He's a power puncher. But you got to set that up. And the inexperience showed. And here's the other thing, and I mentioned this before. Morell turned pro about 8 months before the pandemic. He turned pro in August 2019, I believe. And because of the pandemic, there were years where he only fought once. You think that's enough development to step up and fight a crafty guy like Benavides, because he is crafty? No, sorry, Bob. No, sorry, Bob. Anyway, that does it for the show. We've been on for about an hour and a half. I think we went over. I said I was going to be here for an hour. We stayed on for an hour and 26 minutes. But hey, listen, it was fun. We're going to be back today in about 10 hours or maybe a little bit more with our post-fight show, get more opinions from Recognize Gonzalo. Hopefully those guys show up. Hopefully Chief shows up. I know it's a Sunday, so I don't know. Maybe we hear from Jimmy. Shout out to Jimmy. Yes, he's still out there. He's just been having some stuff to deal with, but we'll hear from him again hopefully soon. I'm curious to get his thoughts on Benavides. And that's about it. Shout out to everybody who called in, everybody that donated via not super chat, via the Buy Me a Coffee. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this show. Again, it was good to do another call-in show. It's been a while since we've done a post-fight call-in show, and I was hoping something more surprising or dramatic would have happened, so we would have gotten more callers. But I'm glad that people called in. We're getting used to this new phone service again. So people, yes, we do have phone lines, so stay tuned for that. So shout out to everybody that donated via the Buy Me a Coffee, everybody that was here, everybody that called in. Let me give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. SkullKid25, Eparokua, MLO860, Dex 2024, Rampack Strunky Company 10-4, Barry Nivola, Nes Mendoza, that's Mr. Nes Mendoza, Havoc's Arena, Handsome Mechanic, Life and Logic, Straight Right Hand, King KO, Knockout Ned, Grim Reaper, who else? Mark T, Super Anderson Aldo. Shout out. Oh, hold on. Before we go, shout out to everybody who sent me the pictures of Fulton. What was up with Fulton's attire? First of all, shout out to Stephen Fulton for revitalizing his career after looking like he was done in his last fight. But this attire from him was jarring, to say the least. Hold on, let me just put it up here. I guess we'll talk more about it tomorrow. But, where is it? Look at that. Denim, like cut-off denim shorts and shoes that looked like they were boots. I guess he was trying to channel the streets, as they like to say. By the way, shout out to the PBC for this too, by the way. Premier Boxing Champions, the Mexican monster Benavides, 300 wins by unanimous decision. He won. Is that the Benavides there? I'm telling you, the PBC, man, just everything breaking down. Now that they no longer have the Showtime infrastructure, that's the Mexican monster right there. They got to get their act together over there with the PBC, let me tell you. But anyway, shout out to everybody that called in. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the PBC for putting Morell as the winner. And shout out to Fulton for revitalizing his career. We'll talk more about the undercard tomorrow and everything that entails, the future for those guys who won, for the winners, maybe a little bit the losers as well. Like I said, shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for your contributions via the Buy Me a Coffee. Don't forget to check us out on Spotify and iTunes. Don't forget to check out our secondary channel, BDA Clips, and check out the Patreon. Sign up for the Patreon. Links in the description. So shout out to you guys.